Codependence Day definitely has some pretty good moments in it. This is the 15th episode of the 15th season of The Simpsons, and it starts off and actually for quite a while focuses on Cosmic Wars, which is the new film released that's a parody of Star Wars, and it's most certainly a parody of episodes 1 to 3 because it's apparently appalling, and people write to the director, who is called Curtis rather than Lucas, pretty good likeness, and complain about it. And there are so many other just Star Wars parodies and characters that look very similar, and there's an AT-AT, and I absolutely loved it. And honestly, it takes up quite a bit of time, but I had a lot of fun with it. Also, Otto, I believe it was Otto, said something that I had not expected, and I'll discuss it at the end because I don't want to spoil the funny moment, but I will discuss it at the end. And then, while Bart and Lisa are visiting Curtis, Marge and Homer go off to this event and have a drink, and they realise that actually they like drinking and spending time together, and they do this more and end up getting into a very difficult situation. And I won't say anything more about it because I didn't see it coming, and I have to say there are some questionable behaviours from certain characters. Okay, Homer. And what Marge ultimately realises, I thought, was very moving and very well done, and also quite unexpected. And I think it could make some people think. And I will discuss what I mean by that with a spoiler warning as well, because I don't want to give too much away. But I really liked it. I wouldn't have liked it as much without the excessive Star Wars parody, I have to say, but it did make me smile a lot. I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun with it. And I think if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll like that too. The main narrative, I think, will be very thought-provoking for some people, and I thought was unpredictable and unexpected. So, in all, I thought it was a good episode. So, spoilers from now. I'm just going to tell you what that Otto quote was, and then I'm going to discuss what happens at the end, because this is actually something I personally learned recently as well. So, spoilers from now, the Otto quote, and I'm saying Otto, I apologise if I've misremembered that. I wrote the quote down, I didn't write down who said it. I'm pretty sure it's Otto. And the quote is, "There's blood on your hands, Mrs. Thatcher." I didn't expect that to come out of the mouth of a Simpsons character. And it makes sense with what he's watching at the time and everything, and I was really impressed with it. I thought it worked very well, but it just really took me by surprise. So the ending, Marge learns that it's not the alcohol she likes, it's the person she's with, which in itself is quite sweet. But I recently read an article that talks about addiction, and it's not obviously there's the chemical side of addiction where your body becomes dependent on it. That's the different side. But the side of it, the mental side, where you start to crave that thing, whether it's alcohol or junk food or anything else that's harmful in large quantities, it's not necessarily that you're enjoying. It's something else. For example, if you binge eat chocolate and watch sitcoms, and you really enjoy it, it's not necessarily the chocolate that's the element you enjoy, it's the sitcoms. Or you allow yourself that chance to binge eat and really enjoy the time, but actually it's allowing yourself to rest and relax and take time away from work to do that you enjoy, not the activity itself. And this is what we see with Marge. Marge started to enjoy this, but she thought that in order to have that happy feeling that she's just discovered, she needs the alcohol. But actually, I think it was Mrs. Krabappel who helped her realise that no, that happy feeling is not coming from the alcohol, it's coming from Homer, which is a lovely message. And I just think that that's really great food for thought, that if there's anything in your life, whether it's alcohol, junk food, smoking, yes, there is always going to be that chemical addiction, but the happiness or the joy that you feel, and again, I know people will be, but pointing out, saying yes, but it releases endorphins, etc. Yes, of course, but it could just be something else. And it's about recognizing what you feel instead of mistaking it for something else. And I was watching this video by this therapist. Unfortunately, I can't remember her name, so I can't direct you to the video, but it was talking about how sometimes when you feel this need to do something compulsive, like binge, whether it's binge drink, binge eat, actually think about what you're feeling. And she gave an example of actually, what you need is to cry instead of having the catharsis of a binge and then a purge. If you do that, what you might need to do is release emotions in another way, such as through crying, which is perfectly healthy. And I just thought that this episode, if it speaks to you, it could be really powerful. Because I had never always thought that. I always thought addiction was just when you want it, it's because of the chemicals, but actually it's because you want that happy feeling you get. But actually it might not be that that's giving you that. It could be a byproduct of it. And it made me think, and I kind of related to things I've been reading about recently. And if it can help anybody else start to think that way, I think it could be an incredible thing. And it's a really powerful message. And it's off the back of a really, really enjoyable episode. I had a lot of fun with it. Without question, Codependence Day is a really decent episode of The Simpsons.